Welcome to Reality After Show coverage of Australian Survivor, Titans v Rebels, Rebel Scum. We're talking episodes 16, 17, and 18. That's right. It's week 6, if I'm doing my math correct. Maybe 7, not sure. No one said there'd be math. But I'm Jonny Fairplay, Survivor Hall of Famer, and known in Australia as just Legend. Joined by Survivor expert Dan Montchal. Shirt now available at fairplayshirts.com. Get your Survivor Expert t-shirt available there. It is the Dan Montchal Survivor Expert t-shirt. And we're joined by Titan and pop culture expert, in quotation, for those of you listening, not watching, Eden Porter. Welcome, Eden.
Thank you very much for having me, gentlemen. This is a dream come true. Forget going on Survivor. This is the real bucket list item right here, guys.
Wow. I am so sorry that...
Hang on, there's some holes in this bucket list. Yeah.
There's some holes in, there's some holes in some buckets. That's the podcast for last Wednesday. Holy moly. All right. So for those of you not familiar with how this show works, we're going to do a line-by-line reenactment of the season. You have your script, Eden. You will be playing the part of Scotty.
Yeah. It was a part I was born to play.
So, yeah, we're not going to get to you for a little while. So if you want to sit back and poop. You do get to make funny faces on the barge ride in, but after that, it's not a lot. So, but yeah, no, you do become the narrator when I'm ready for you to become the narrator. So that's really weird. That's 2 podcasts ago. We're not there. So yeah, we're before we begin, Eden. I mean, you're off the show. You're off the show now. Yeah. I may have met you in Australia in passing, unplanned.
Unplanned, of course.
Ridiculously unplanned. And you are one of my favorite human beings on the planet, Eden. You are so you are just nothing but energy. You're nothing but positivity. You're nothing but fun. My favorite, other than, I mean, Jerry's a lot of fun to hang out with. I don't know if you've got a chance to meet Jerry yet. Jerry and Pam are a lot of fun. Yeah, and Jerry doesn't wear a lot of clothes. It's very odd.
Okay, let's do it.
No, it was there was some fans hanging out with us, and you being a pop culture expert, you were asked, what's your favorite movie, and you're like, well, I can't really say my favorite movie. Like that's, it's a bit much. However, I'll throw out 5 movies I think you should check out, and you're like Jurassic Park. And then I think we were both in agreement on Godfather 2. And you're like, I'm going to steer you in a little different direction here. It's a documentary. And before you could answer, I'm just like, King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters is the greatest. And you lost your mind.
It's literally what I was going to talk about.
Yes.
Literally one of my favorite documentaries of all time. It's an absolute classic. In fact,
I was about to say he has the poster in
show and
I've
tell.
got there's my DVD. The poster's out the back in the cinema room.
Of course.
But it's so the great thing about working at the movies is I've got all actual movie size AO like posters.
Wow.
It's great. It's
That's
fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah.
I will be robbing your place after I rob Chrissy's my next visit. I didn't have a big enough U-Haul for Chrissy's last time. I feel a satchel. I could leave with enough goodies from your place, Eden. I'd be all right. I know the good posters to get, Eden. I'm not saying I don't have a lot of posters.
No, I know you've got your eye on some good ones, mate. Yeah. I've got a great. Do you know Hot Fuzz? Do you know Hot Fuzz?
Yeah.
Of course.
I love Hot Fuzz. I got a signed by all 3 of them Hot Fuzz poster when they came out for the premiere. So good. They did a Q&A and everything. Simon Pegg, genius. Simon Pegg, so good.
I hear only just really remarkable Americans come to Australia.
yeah. I've heard that rumor as well. I've heard it as well. Yes. Very good, mate. Very good.
Thank you. All right, so let's go back in time a little bit. We are talking episodes 16, 17, and 18 here tonight, but going back in time, You were not the first choice of Channel 10 to be on Titans Viewer.
This is true. I didn't fit the theme. So my Survivor journey, my Survivor journey dates back 23 years, all the way back to season 1. I remember watching it when I was in year 10 at high school, and it just blew me away. And from that point on, I was like, this is something that I really want to do. This is awesome. And for many years, Australia didn't have their own version of Australian Survivor. We had one in like 2001, and it was absolute garbage. It was
it's not even counted. Like it's so funny. If you look at where you can potentially grab episodes, I suggest realitypatron.com. It says it's episode 11, and it's just like, but they say it's episode. It's season. They say it's season 11, but they say it's season 9, and I'm just like, but the math doesn't math. Yes, they don't count the first 2 seasons.
No, the first season, they had a challenge, which was hold your hand up when you think it's been an hour. And everyone just stood there. And after an hour in your head, you were just counting. And then 4 people put their hand up. I'm like, it's riveting television, guys.
Oh, wow.
It was no good. So we don't even talk about those ones. We only talk about the official ones. So we didn't have a season for forever. And during that time, I was like, I really want to get on this show. So I actually started to apply for the USA green card lottery. There's a green card lottery that they do, and you can randomly get selected to get a green card without having to marry anyone.
Oh.
And pretty much my idea
was you're safe.
I was like, exactly. But in that period, I was like, Jeff Probst is going to love this. This story is going to be great. A guy gets a green card to come over to America to just play Survivor. I'm like, this is big time stuff. Didn't get the lottery results. So then Australian Survivor came back on our
Dan, you're not safe.
You need a little pop-up. You need a little pop-up that comes up on screen. And then I started to apply again from 2016. And that first year, I got super close. I got all the way through to like the one-on-ones with production. I was like, this is it. This is happening. This is really good. And I just missed out in the very last minute. And then I auditioned every single year since that point. Never got a call back. Never got anything else. I was just like, wow, this is disheartening. But I never gave up, team. I never gave up. And then this year, I was like, this is happening. I was getting really far through again. I'm like, man, I'm there. I got down to the last 28. I'm like, this is incredible. And then I get the thanks but no thanks phone call. And I'm like, oh man, again, failed at the final hurdle again. And then 5 weeks pass and I go back to my life. I'm just like, yep, look, back to work, everything like that. And I get Friday night, I get a phone call. It says, someone's just dropped out. Are you still keen? And I'm like, yes, of course I'm still keen. And they went, okay, we're going to try and repitch you because 10 didn't think you fit the theme of Titans and Rebels. Who would have thought that? And then they said, we're going to repitch you as like the Titan of pop culture.
Yeah.
I'm like, great, do it. Go for your life. About an hour later, they call me back. They go, you're going to Samoa. I'm like, this Friday, I'm losing the plot with Rachel, tears in the eyes, just as a dream come true. And I'm like, so when does this happen? When do I leave? And they go, Monday morning at 8 a.m. Yeah. I'm like, okay then. I got to get ready. Wow. So it was the most hectic 2 days of my life, trying to pack everything up, get my leave sorted. I've got a young, like Phoenix is only 10 months old. Rachel, we've got to organize how Rachel's going to like deal with that and work. And it was, yeah,
was there a conversation like, you know, maybe this isn't the best time? Like, can you see if you can do the next one, or was that not?
It was. She knew how important this was to me. She knew this is happening because we got really close as a couple for the Amazing Race in the first season that came back. Me and Rach.
Thank goodness you didn't get that. We wouldn't be chatting right now.
No, we would not be. And so
I would not have ran into you in Australia.
Shake harder, boy. And then so she knew how she got into Survivor because of me, and she knew how important it was. And she's like, you can't. This may be your only opportunity to play this game, so you've got to go for it. And she's been amazing. And so she was a single mum the whole time I was on the island. She was just doing it all herself, and yeah, it was pretty amazing. In fact,
at least you came in with 500,000.
Hang on, wait a minute. You know what's crazy? They did the auction.
Yeah, it's in my notes. I'm just like, Eden is losing his mind.
Yeah,
that's in my notes.
The auction there, I was like devastated. But the auction was actually the day of Phoenix's first birthday.
Oh,
That was actually going to be the day. And whether or not there would have been like in past seasons, they've done like video calls to home and all that sort of stuff. And I was just like, I knew the auction was coming up, and I'm like, man, I wonder if it's going to be on Phoenix's birthday. Like,
yeah, well, season 46 thought the auction was coming up too, Eden. So don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Suckers. Yeah, exactly. It's too expensive. Jonny, it's too expensive. It's too expensive.
Well,
gold-plated desserts. It's too
multiple departments. That was the big thing. The multiple department. You have the food department that has to have a shitty pizza. You have to have a shitty cheeseburger. You have to have popcorn with advantages in it. But here's the problem. So that's food. You have to involve accounting and I'm just like, give them Survivor bucks. You have a guy with a piece of paper that cuts out I would literally make more money on eBay with Survivor bucks than I would $100. And if you don't think I'd be selling my Survivor bucks on eBay when I got back, you're insane. I guarantee you more than life itself.
We know you too well, John. Like 100%.
Would you like to have the ball that gave me the power in House of Villains to become Super Bowl of the Week? It is available, $200 right now.
Okay, so it is for sale. I was confused. I was like, "There's no way you haven't tried to sell it yet."
Oh, it is for sale. Oh, would you like Tanisha's headbands from the Blow Challenge? They are available. I have Bobby Lights' headband from when we went to LA. I have one of the jewels from Omarosa's case when she won.
Can we have a live auction, like bidding numbers?
I would love to have a live auction. This is the real auction right here. Thank you, Eric. This is the real auction. All of Jonny Fairplay's prop. I do not have a lot left from my Survivor days. I do have. If you look on the wall behind me, that gray painting, Jeff Hardy painted me that for my birthday, and hanging on it is the arm sleeves that Krista used the sewing kit to make my arm sleeves at night. I was like, I dreamed, because I had a short sleeve shirt. It's like I dreamed I had these sleeves that I could put my arms in, but they're sewn on at the ends so that mosquitoes can't bite my fingers.
Perfect.
It was the greatest thing ever.
She's crafty, man. That sewing kit, they never brought it back, did they?
Oh, we hated it so much. I mean, like, oh my God, we're just like the worst thing ever. But I did secretly love it, but never said it on camera.
Yeah, good, of course.
So that's how I am. So so you go out there and we see here, Aaron Kahn's got it right. Eden, you were much better off on the Aussie version. I mean, that's the version for you. And so you go out there, episode 1. I told you in person, you're teetering on the line. I'm just like, am I gonna hate this guy or am I gonna love this guy? Because I literally watched I tried to stay off the social media going into it, because I want to see just with fresh eyes and not have preconceived notions about anyone, unless we do the cast assessment, and then I bury everyone. But I was just, I saw a couple clips. I was like, I'm gonna wait. And you were about 12 seconds away from me hating you, but you stayed on this. I was just like, I love this guy. And I literally tell my fiance, I'm just like, I love this guy. And fast forward episode 2, The Invisible Hand, and you get your own music score of 2 notes?
Yes, yeah. You're gonna love when you get a music score. How good is that?
It's so great. So Evil Dick on US Big Brother. My manager also represented Ice-T, and as a result, Body Count. And so he contacted CBS. He was like, "Would you like the riff from Evil Dick, the Body Count song? Like, we can do a little jingle, And they're like, "No, we're just gonna do like just a heavy metal riff." And he's just like, "But no, I can get you Evil Dick." And they're like, "No," and I was just like, "Oh, you idiots!" So, but yes, so we do get a riff for The Invisible Hand, which honestly, in the history of Survivor Alliance names, my absolute favorite. Me and Burton had the Legion of Doom.
Oh, that's a classic, though. That's classic though.
Never made the air. Wendell, Sarah Lacina, Tony Vlachos, and Nick Wilson had Law and Order.
Yeah,
and they told them to stop saying it out loud. Because it is an NBC Universal property, and they're like, I'm pretty sure the term Law and Order was a thing before the show Law and Order. That's where they got the name Law and Order. And they're like, yeah, you can't say it. And they're like, we really can't say Law and Order. Like, this really makes sense, and it's actually kind of funny. And they're like, it's not funny.
Well, that's when you change it to Order and Law. Yeah. Order and Law. Get around it, mate. You gotta think these things through.
I will tell you, I know that there's plenty of people that still love Nick Wilson, and two of the cast on 46 said they hope to play like Nick Wilson, and I know there's people that don't like Nick Wilson, and this isn't a discussion for any of that. Nick Wilson applied to be on Survivor almost every single season, and he started his application video every time with, "It's the hillbilly lawyer Nick Wilson," and they're just like, doesn't make sense for this season. Doesn't make this, they're like, give us, like, instead of telling us that you like to jump off stuff at the lake, show us you jumping off stuff at the lake, And so every year he would send that video in. He was just like, "It's the hillbilly lawyer Nick Wilson." And when he finally got the call for David versus Goliath, and my personal opinion, he was the backup plan for Christian in case Christian went out early, and he did. I was rooting for it. I was at oh God, what was her name? Who was his nemesis? The tall, she lived anyway. I was at her party. Everyone cheered there because we weren't in Christianville. But anyway, the day that Nick Wilson got the phone call to be on Survivor was his now wife's birthday. No. And so they're out for her birthday, and he never said a word because that day was supposed to be about her and not about him. And so he waited to the next day to tell her.
Oh, I waited to the next day. That's classy.
Killed him. Like, it's the most painful 18 hours of his life. But that's how you win Survivor. You make those sacrifices. Well, I mean, what do we know?
Yeah, what do we know? Couple Survivor losers.
Yeah. So fast forward. I love the Invisible Hand. We make our way to the middle-aged Mafia.
Yep.
Once again, you get your own score.
Yeah, mate. I was out there. I was out there to name some alliances. I was out there to
that was it.
That's it. To get some people together, name some alliances, have some fun. I think the middle-aged Mafia was great because as well. Once you name things, it creates a bond. It creates something, and it's much easier to bring those people together. Be like, hey, we're this. We're the Invisible Hand. We're the middle-aged Mafia.
It makes us cool.
It makes us cool. It makes us a thing. It's not like it's just like, oh yeah, we're working together. Yeah, I like this person, we're working together. You give it a name, you give it you basically create something there, and it goes a long way when you're out there, especially at the start of the game. Yep. Everyone is just looking
for anything,
something to grab onto. And it's so funny because me and Mark, like, just talking, you just find, oh yeah, this, oh yeah, my wife likes this and this, and oh really, oh that's cool, oh she's from Melbourne, oh I'm from Melbourne, where are you? And you just find little tiny things that just connect you to people, and it's amazing that the fear of going home first, and that was my biggest fear, wanting to get on this show for so long and then going out first.
Me too. I'll be here all week, folks. Well, no, I'll be here 3 days. So my second one.
But that was a big thing for me, and I knew you just got to build those relationships at the start. Just build those relationships, get in tight with people, and you should. And very, very easily with the Invisible Hand, the point of that was Mark was going to bring in some people, I was going to bring in some people, and we weren't going to be seen as the person bringing in everyone together. Not like, hey guys, this is what we're doing. We didn't want to be seen as the leader. We didn't want to be seen sticking our head out there for everyone to go, hey, if we get rid of Eden or Mark, everything's going to fall apart. So we managed to pull enough people together to get that very early majority, and then we really controlled that Titans tribe for that whole first part before merge, which was great.
It was beautiful. It was great to see. I going back in time, like on my first season of Survivor, I had when you get cast, they put the fear of God. They're like, do not say anything to anyone, or you will die. And I'm like, all right. So anyway, my best friend, one of my best friends that lived in LA, I told him, and he's like, oh yeah, there's this guy Sean. He's telling everybody at the bar. Everybody, he's just like, he's leaving in you're leaving in 6 days, 5 days now, right? I'm just like, how do you know? He's like, oh yeah. So anyway, so I get out there and there's this guy, Sean. I'm just like, hey, I'm good friends with Alex. He's like, yeah, we're not that close. And I'm just like, really? Because you've been out with him like pretty much every night for the last 2 weeks. Like he's literally told me what you've done and like what you drank. Like, I know your drink of choice. I know the name of your dog, so it's like, no, we're not. And I'm like, okay, well, this isn't good. And then we have little Michelle and I was just like, hey, she was like, I used to be a college football cheerleader. I was like, oh, where? She's like, Virginia Tech. I'm like, I'm a Virginia Tech Hokie. And she's like, yeah, I don't really care about the school spirit stuff that much. I'm like, you were literally a cheerleader. You're an ambassador of school spirit by definition. So just right out of the gate, I'm just 0 for 2. And I'm just like, this is going to be a little more difficult than planned.
Yeah.
Because you look just anything, just that little shred.
Just give me something. But look how that turned out for you, John. You turned out pretty well in the end.
I sent home Sean and Michelle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very simple.
I'll give you the cheerleading spirit. Yeah, there you go.
With the middle-aged mafia, what was it about Kitty? She's one of the 4 of you that we've seen the least about. Like, what kind of brought her in? Do
you know what's crazy about Kitty? Me and Kitty
her abs.
Yeah, well, that her traps are like it's ridiculous.
Quads, ankles.
Yeah, I'm running out of muscles here. I'm not
I'm not Gorilla Monsoon. I'm not gonna make
it. So Kitty was really interesting. Kitty, I was actually really tight with Kitty. Kitty was like a ride or die for me, which is really interesting. We were tight to the point almost tighter than Kitty and Caroline. Like Kitty and me had talked about going all the way, getting all the way. And the beauty of Kitty, right, is that at the time, if she's in your alliance, she can't lie. She cannot lie.
Well, we've noticed.
Yeah. And I was like, I was like, this is perfect. I can actually trust her to bring me information. She's always going to be honest with me. I will know if she's ever dishonest because she can't. And I was like, this is great. This is perfect. And then I saw the flip side of it when I asked her to lie to other people. I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. And so then it became really difficult for her. And it was very hard for her to just.
It's not a game for Kitty.
No, it's
physically it is a game for Kitty. Ethos wise, it is not a game for Kitty, and it's not for some people. I mean, you look at Raymond, you would not think that. Like, we literally hear for 3/4 of episode 18, this is not the game for Raymond. It is the game for Raymond.
Yeah, 100%. But I think Kitty, that's why like me and Kitty gravitated towards each other, because she needed someone to like teach her about the game. What are we going to do? Like, how are we going to approach this? And so I sort of fell into that role for her. And that's when we brought her like in, and then Caroline came in on top of that. And Caroline, the great thing about an older woman in a situation like that is I wanted to bring in that sort of archetype to the group even before going out there, because they're commonly the guys that are targeted straight away, and so they're looking for anything to be like, cool, what can I create? How can I'll be a number. I just want to get through these first couple of votes, and so you can really rely.
But if you get that Jane Bright version, you're set. Like, I mean, I think Caroline, if you're looking for a U.S. comparison to Caroline, I think Jane Bright is right up there.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Huge compliment.
So, yeah, very much so. And so I think that once that solidified, and then I knew where Mark was. The thing with Mark is and I wanted to play with logical players that could understand the game, so I could predict how they were going to look at the game and stuff like. And that was one of the big things that came to the V vote, is knowing how Mark was going to react to that, and knowing Mark's thought process in terms of going, no, it's not the right time. It's not the right time to do it. Because that vote was actually super interesting in the fact that a big part of that was me basically planting seeds with Kitty to be like, hey, we've just done a swap. Logically, in this point right now, a logical player of Survivor would basically solidify strength and vote off one of the rebels the first round, and then get the rebels down to 2, and then vote someone off in the Titans that you didn't really like. Yeah, exactly. So, but you always want to solidify the strength first of all. And I knew Mark was thinking that. I was like, a logical player would think this. So if we want to do something, we actually need to do it now before we get rid of a rebel. Like that's just thinking like the next level.
That's Jonny Fairplay. Like it's just also King George way of thinking, except you vote people out with 2-1-1, 2-1-1 votes. It works.
I know. And so that was, and so then putting that in Kitty's head of like, do you think we should do something now? Like, because this could really like set us up and everything like that. And then allowing Kitty, once planting that seed, allowing Kitty then to sell it to Caroline, to talk to Caroline, then Caroline and Kitty come back and sell it back to me, like it's, and I'm letting them go. I'm going, do you really think it's the time? I don't know, guys. And then they feel like it's their move and it's theirs. And they went and got Riri, they pulled everyone else in, like they did all the heavy lifting. And at the end of the day, I wanted to still salvage my relationship with Mark. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what ended up happening, is everyone was talking about revenge on Caroline and Kitty, and no one was talking about, let's make sure we get Eden as well. And that kept that relationship with Mark there. And then I spent the majority of my game keeping Caroline and Mark at odds with each other, but also not letting them vote each other out, because that was
beautiful.
I wanted to be the fulcrum point, because earlier in the season, about day 3 or day 4, Caroline, Kitty, and Mark all had a conversation without me, and they were saying like, Caroline was like, can we try, like, is Eden really in? And Mark's like, no, Eden's 100% in. And Kitty was saying, yeah, I'd really trust Eden. And I heard about that conversation later. And then at that point, I realized I need to be the fulcrum in between these guys. I can't let them be the ones going off talking without me. I need to be the joiner between Mark, Caroline, and Kitty. Sure. And so it's that point then I realized this is what I've got to do. The wedge. Exactly.
Those wedges are not made for Titans v Rebels.
No, it's got to be wrenches, mate. And so that point, and then that sort of set up the rest of my game there. And that's when I was doing the best, all the way up until that merge. I really felt everything had fallen into place. No one else was bringing up my name. Outside that one vote I caught from Jess that no one was listening to. And at that point, it was like, look, I'm in this middle point. Everyone was going to come to me with their plans. And it was looking very good for a period there.
It was. So let's talk about the beginning and the end there. So we have the merge. You are now officially dateable. Did you let the wife know? I'm sure.
Yeah. Rachel
you're just like, I came home a loser, but I do qualify as dateable. So
she had the bags packed.
I bet.
She got that call any earlier. She was out the door.
Yeah, the kids at the nannies. We're just. I need some kind of confirmation. Do you have a merge buff in your possession, or we're out of here? Like honestly, you don't get to kiss the kid. Not like you can send. You can be, part-time dad. I think. You'll have time to watch your movies.
Well, yeah, exactly. There we go, mate.
Talk about all the pre-merge stuff you were doing.
Me and Charles can go hang out. Yeah, exactly.
Great. Oh yeah, you and Charles.
I actually love Charles. Charles.
I heard he stinks.
Oh no, Charles is awesome. He was burning his socks a lot, basically every night. But he was a good egg, Charles.
I may or may not have met Charles too, and I like Charles.
Yeah, may or may not. The thing with Charles is Charles and me had a secret. We both had young kids. We both had so we bonded over that. So we had another line. Well,
he's had sex. All right. We shouldn't say that. Do we know that they were willing? I'm not trying to get anyone stitched up here. Like how you stitched up, Dan?
I like that. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You know how much I love the Geordie references.
He's the Joker, you know.
It only got mentioned every other minute for 19 episodes straight.
So we get Australian Survivor without the commercials. Oh my God! If there was the Batman commercials in between Jordy saying he was the Joker, I would have killed myself.
We have periods of that. We have periods of Caroline mentioning that she's a midwife about 1,000 times.
Okay.
Things like that. There's a little bit of that there.
Caroline has a potty mouth.
Yeah, dude. She fires up, mate.
It is insane. I like, maybe or maybe not. I had a few beverages. I was literally drank under the table by Caroline. Truth be told. And every other word was the F word, and I'm just like, do I love you? So she goes, not what you thought, huh, Fib? Not what you thought, legend. I know, I'm frightened. The Mafia shit works for you, lady.
You're right. She's boss lady, mate. Ciao.
She's great.
Caroline.
I love that alliance so much. So you're sitting there, you're officially dateable, and trust me, folks, we're getting to episode 16. We're so we are seconds away, and so we have one episode of Scotty narrating. I'm like, what the fuck is happening in my world? Like, this is not what I signed. It was the Scotty boot. I'm like, okay, I'll allow it.
Makes sense.
We'll allow it. Oh, did you see I was hanging out with Penner on Wednesday? Sorry,
I did.
Yeah, is that crazy?
I did. Lucky, mate. Penner's. I love Penner.
I know. I think we had a brief Penner conversation when we did. So,
I'm a storyteller. It's what I do. I put that in one of my first interviews. It's great.
Yeah. So we have the Scotty episode, and there were some people that were upset, and I'm just like, you know what? If he's not responsible for sending home like someone like Eden or Ferris or Kirby or Mark, I'm cool with this. I was like the guy need to go. That's great, you know. Like they're like, oh, it's a quit. I'm like, I don't care. Like. If Scotty sends you home and the next episode is like, guys, I'm not really feeling it, I'm losing my mind. Okay?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So I'm like, okay, great. So then we see my good friend Eden. He is like, hey, you see how good I did with the invisible hand? We're like, yeah, the invisible hand. That was pretty. You got the little music score. He's like, yeah, remember the music score? I'm like, yeah. He's like, hey, do you remember the middle-aged Mafia? I'm like, loved it. They got the music thing too. He's like, watch this. I'm Dr. Frankenstein. Nothing can go wrong. Pop culture expert. Does he not remember the end of Frankenstein?
I didn't read it all the way through, John.
Oh, did you think it was a love story? do you think he was? Did you think you were like the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, sending Andre the Giant to bring you back the WWF Championship? Here you go, boss. Is that how it played out in your mind?
By the way, I love that reference, by the way, John. That is how I thought it would end, with me getting $500,000. Yes, that is exactly how I thought. I thought I would be in the final immunity challenge with Jaden, and he would struggle to stand on those pegs and topple over, and I would be all the way clean shot to the $500,000 for me.
Wow!
But it was. Look, that whole. I'll talk basically very quickly. I know we want to get into the next episode, but the whole thought process with that was, I knew the fact that Kirby and Ferris weren't coming for each other at Merge told me that
everything you needed with those two.
Those two are working together. They got this frenemies thing, and they would talk constantly. Oh yeah, I hate Kirby, I hate Ferris, and not at one point did they say, "Hey, do you want to do something? We've got to come on, let's get together." So I knew that something was happening. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then I knew that they both had their Riris, their Rays, their Eileens, and everything like that in the back pocket. And I said, so this is eventually going to bite us. And if we had followed the plan, we got rid of Winner, then we'd get rid of Val, then Mark would probably be on the cards as well. And then suddenly it's very easy for all of them to turn on. I would definitely be the next one, probably gone at that point.
Raymond is sending you home. like this strategic genius Raymond,
Raymond.
And you're just like, wow, that I did not have that on my Survivor bingo card.
No, I didn't. And so I knew unless
like, Raymond goes to Ferris, hold my beer. Oh no. This took a turn.
So good. So then at that point I'd floated getting rid of Val earlier during the winner vote, and then Ferris and Ray were very adamant. No, it's got to be winner. It's got to be winner, because they had a Garrick. They were the swing in that Garrick vote, and they really wanted to get rid of winner first. And at that point, because I couldn't switch it to Val, I knew I didn't have enough agency in that group that we'd formed. I knew that I wasn't calling the shots. I was at the bottom of that group. And so that's why I wanted to make something new, and that's why I wanted to build something out. And you know what? It really should have worked. It really should have worked. If the girls had just acted a little bit cool, calm, collective, if they had just chilled out a little bit, I think it would have been smooth sailing. And even then, it goes to a 6-6 tie. And logically, when you thinking about the game logically, it doesn't make sense for them to put votes on me because I have good relationships with all those guys. It makes sense in that situation. Put votes on Caroline. Put votes on Val, because Mark and Val are flipping on Caroline. Jaden is flipping on Caroline 100% of the time in that revote. 100% of the time, or vice versa. People are flipping on Val. It is so risky to put votes on me to then go to Rocks in that situation. And honestly, no one saw the Jaden flip coming. Jaden had already voted with us that first round. Yeah. And Jaden had immunity, so there's no point. He wouldn't have to pull a rock anyway. So for him, it's like, okay, whatever. So no one saw that coming. So I was like, well, end of the day, if this all falls apart, one of those two will probably go home, and I'll live to fight another day, and I'll rebuild something there. And then no one saw the Jaden flip coming. And we would have gone to Rocks, and me and Ray would have been safe. And it would have been the first time Australian Survivor's gone to Rocks. It would have really brought everything up to the next level. It would have been epic, absolutely epic.
And kudos to Ferris. And I mean, I don't know if you want to give kudos, but I mean, I think a Survivor expert will. And
enough with stupid quotes. No, Ferris has been. I mean, you see it through this week as well. He reads at Tribal Council, the way he's able to switch stuff on the fly. I can't remember the last time we've seen someone make this many moves at Tribal Council where it's mostly worked out for him.
But these reads, this read for you in particular is based on what he saw. It was you, Eden, talking to so many people, which if you want to get something done, do it yourself. Yeah. I mean,
and the thing is, okay, so ultimately this move was great for me. Look, it wasn't the optimal move for Kitty and Caroline because they weren't at the bottom of that group. I definitely was. And so for them, it just took a little bit more convincing. And then you have to put the time in. You have to talk to them. And if you
don't finesse a move, someone hears another move and they're just like, does that sound better? I don't know. I mean, but they said it 2 times as much, so maybe it is. And it's just like, no, it's not. Just do that.
Yeah, exactly. And then because at that point, then if that goes through, we get rid of Raymond. Then Ferris is just left there with Eileen. Eileen would have dropped the sinking ship of Ferris at that point because me and Eileen had a pretty good relationship as well. And then the game opens up. Then it's targeting. Okay, is it Kirby? Is it Ferris? Ferris still has his idol. You put the focus on the idols at that point. Alex still had his. Riri had just used hers then. And so then moving forward, the game was very wide open. I had a lot of great connections on the Titan side. I could have played off the Mark Caroline conflict for longer and Kitty as well. There was everything was open at that point. I really felt like if we could just get through that one hurdle, the end game was.
I hated
tight.
it,
but
I mean, I know you. If you love it, you're a sick individual. But no, I'm literally. I'm watching someone that, as I said, I like as a friend, and then I'm looking at my kid, Timu Jonny Fairplay. I don't want him to go home either.
Yeah, I know. Timu Jonny Fairplay, exactly.
I'm like, go to Rocks.
Yeah, I know. That was the perfect outcome.
Especially because it was Jaden who flipped. Like Jaden who really hasn't made any type of move the entire time. It didn't make any sense.
Dr. Frankenstein told him in a situation like that, you make a big move. Oh, is this what you were talking? Okay, got it.
And I was actually pretty good. I was actually pretty good with Jaden. I know, I know Survivor. I know you don't dictate to people who to vote for and things like that. We spent a lot of time. Hey man, so what do you think? What do you want to? Who do you want to target? Who do you want to work with? Who's like in a couple more votes?
That way.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I know. But it's just that idea of, and it's really hard to work with someone that's just like, whatever, man, whatever you want, just tell me. Just tell me whatever you want. No, just tell me whatever you want. I'm like, okay. Like, we're trying really hard here, man. Trying really hard.
That's what was confusing, because say like in episode 17 where you see that he's kind of talking with Kirby and he's like, oh, it's nice to finally have someone be brought into the plan. It's just like Eden's a smart enough player. I don't think that he was just coming up at the 11th hour and being like, vote this way.
Yes, exactly.
But it is nuts on how, like, Eden, you're 1,000% right. In Survivor, I don't care how great your number one ally is or how strong your alliance is. Everything needs to be finessed. So like me and Burton, like, you know, we got caught in the middle of the night, you know, like Sandra sneaks over there with Tawana and they hear it because like Burton has to, he's just like, all right, so let's go over this for the 112th
One more time. Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, we know what we're doing. Like, let's just talk about Trishelle. Like, why are we why are we talking about this? But you have to. So, and then I go on House of Villains and, you know, I go to Giant Bananas. I'm just like, hey, and he's like, oh, that's right, you're from Survivor. And I'm just like, what about, he goes, yeah, I don't say things 100, like we just say it one time and we're good. And I'm just like, yeah, but I need to feel, and he's like, if that's what you need, then you need to work with someone else. He was like, I'm here to have fun, drink some low carb IPAs with you, you know, sing some copywritten material and music so they can't film us, smoke some weed, and let's, you know. I don't understand, like we're working together. Got it. Good. Yeah. One conversation, we're done. I was like, this is like, wait till I tell my Survivor friends. And I tell them, they're just like, oh yeah, that shit'll never work. And I'm like, it kind of did.
Oh, that's so good.
All right.
Good. Should we get to the episodes?
What's that?
Do we get to the episodes? What are we up to?
Yeah, episode 16. It's day 32. It's still raining. Was that the worst rain you've ever been in your entire life? Ever?
Dude, it was so bad. It was literally some of the rain, and there was a couple of nights before we got the tarp as well. Like me and Charles winning that tarp in the tug of war was so important for us.
Yes.
Because we were sitting, we had the crappiest shelter as well, the Titans. We were sitting there.
We saw.
Yeah, you saw. Yeah, you're aware. Everything like water coming through in the middle of the night. You're getting like, it was a nightmare. So that some of that rain, and the rain comes in sideways as well. Like, so, and Riri built like a wall to put up at the front of the shelter as well. She just like, I'm just going to go do this. And she just built this huge wall and put it up. It actually worked really well. But the rain, it's not fun. It's not fun.
I had 2 tropical storms that later became hurricanes after they passed us in the Pearl Islands. And like one of them, I think it rained 14 hours straight. Production goes, no one die. And they left. And like, and no one left. No. I mean, like, we were never alone the entire time on Pearl Islands. So like,
wow.
Never. And they're like, we can't film. I mean, like the rain is literally coming in horizontal, and we're all like, this is the worst moment of my entire life. I mean, I've never been more miserable than this moment right here. And it's like, and they're not even getting footage of it.
I had a similar night, pouring rain. I had a thumping headache. I couldn't sleep. I was in a ball. I can actually compact quite well into a ball.
We've seen. Sometimes it's not to your benefit.
No. Sometimes not. But I was in a ball, like just hating life. And then I just got up in the middle of the night and I just walked back and forth to the well for like 4 hours in the moonlight, just drinking and just trying to get rid of my headache. It's really bad. There are low moments. There are low moments for sure.
Yeah. So Caroline apologizes for a hasty decision to Ferris. Raymond explains that he is the #1 physical threat and was wondering why his name came out and maybe his jokes aren't landing. And I was like, I have never been more proud of my Temu version ever in my entire life than Raymond explaining that his jokes were landing. Shocker.
Yeah, you got a captive audience there. His hit rate wasn't great, but he kept at it.
I bet It's usually how that works. Also, the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
which also Raymond clicks a few boxes. All right. Ferris goes to Eileen as his confidant. I'm like, I like this. Ferris trusts Kitty and Caroline, and Jaden pledges his allegiance. And he trusts Kirby, and Eileen is sus, according to Kirby. And I'm like, this isn't good for Kirby or for Eileen. So Ferris makes a deal with Kitty and Caroline. Don't worry, they'll honor that. And at this point, Kirby explains that she has been laying in wait, and she has. And she does. Her and Rihanna do not trust Eileen, but Kirby trusts Ferris. Rihanna doesn't know because we'll get there.
Yeah.
All right.
Should Kirby trust Rihanna because she just has 3 times now where it's a random vote that screwed up everything? Can you trust your number one if they never
screwed up votes?
I get that.
She's had reasoning. She's had reasoning for stuff like a couple of those ones. She was told to do a specific thing, and she did it to prove loyalty, and it wasn't her fault that we changed the plans on her and things like that. So like she was trying to do the right thing for sure.
All right. Well, it's the auction, and I put Eden has literally slit his throat. Right.
Exactly right. You hit the nail on the head there. And what, mate? First item up. What is it? For the cinema manager, a giant thing of popcorn. I'm like, come on.
And I'm literally looking at it. I'm just like, if they're going to put something in something, it's probably in the popcorn. Would that have entered your mind or no? Or would you have just been
I was I got like no rewards out there, by the way. I was dying, but
neither did Ferris until the next one.
No, Ferris. The Rebels won all the food challenges at the start. We got that stupid canned food one that JLP.
Spam.
Spam.
Dogged us.
Spam. Mark stole the spam because he knew that was the best thing in there.
Yes, he did. Spam burglar. Mark actually had.
That's why I'm wearing the hat. A little homage today. I got the mock hat. The Dirty Harry.
The Dirty Harry. Great, mate. You're
available at JonnyFairplay.com or no, FairplaySearch.com. One of those. You'll find.
So it's crazy how. Yeah, it's crazy how that was sort of panning out at that point.
All right, so popcorn and lemonade. Are you loving the lemonade?
No.
Yeah.
No,
because we're going to get to the beer, and I'm not happy, but we'll get there. All right, so $320. Raymond gets the popcorn and lemonade. You're going more than $320 for the popcorn, right?
Yeah, I'm going all in. You got to go. You don't know when that auction's going to go. I'm getting all in. I'm getting popcorn, and plus, it's me. It's the cinema.
I know.
I have to get the popcorn. If anyone else gets it doesn't make any sense. So yeah. Okay. I'm eating that popcorn, and I would have done a great food review of that popcorn as well. Salt calibration, how much butter's on there, the density. Yeah.
So actually, sorry, it's $320 off, and then $340 from Alex, and then $400. Raymond.
Yeah.
So and Raymond feels that extra $100 is going to go a long way, and I don't know why he feels that. If there were a pack of crayons available in the later auction, he was set. I think $100 seals the deal, but well, he wanted dessert, so
yeah, there you go.
All right. Remain covered. Eileen's in 500. It's fried chicken, pickles, coleslaw, and a Coke. Truth be told, looks a little better than the KFC we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
Shh. I'm just saying.
Don't burn KFC. You got to get that sweet KFC money.
I thought it looked really good for fried chicken coleslaw.
Honestly, it looks really good. It looks really good. Remembering, John, this auction bankrupts the show because
there's so many departments involved. There's accounting. and Raymond, they're chasing Raymond down for that extra $100. They're just like, hey. We're gonna need an expense report on that. Fucking A. All right. Next is a pepperoni pizza. Kirby's all in at 500. I'm not a big fan of the pizza.
Survivor pizza is classic. Is like historically not great.
Yeah. So I'm not going in on that.
Yeah,
Would you have gone? All right, so you're going all in on the popcorn. So you're
going
out.
all into the popcorn. Yeah, I'm already out, unfortunately.
Okay.
But the other side of that though is, does someone push up the bid because it is popcorn and they know it's me, or do they let me have it for cheaper? That's I think there's a little bit of that.
Oh, I think Raymond's fucking you on this.
I think you're going full 500.
If you don't come out guns blazing 500, Raymond's taking this from you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Me and Ray can battle.
Raymond has fucked you twice.
Yeah. Wouldn't want it any other way.
Wow.
But yeah, the steak, the chicken looked actually good. Parma, I'm a fan of a Parma. Yeah. Do you say Parmas? Do you say Parmas?
No, but you guys do.
Yeah, we say Parmas.
And if you say Parmies, King George will bash you.
Out of town.
Yes.
It's not a Parmy. I'm sorry. It's a Parma.
Yeah, it's Parma. Yes. All right. So you're out. All right. So Dan, it's just me and you left. All right, covered item. Are you going $500 on the covered item, or are you waiting? Are you a waiting guy?
On the covered? No, I think I'm going for it because you don't know when the auction is going to end, and I feel like
it's not ending after 2.
It's not ending after 2, but we haven't really seen Australian Survivor give the shitty item, and so I feel like if it's covered, it's going to be something that's pretty good. I feel pretty good going all in on this covered item.
See, I'm going all in on the second covered item, maybe not the first, but I don't know.
But the second one, we know you're not.
I think historically it's the other way around. I think the first one is usually, the covered item is usually good, and the second one is like, oh, it's got to be another good one, and it's the shit.
I know, but I feel like we're due for it to be the reverse.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We could have done that, and I know how much Jonny Fairplay hates a sweet, so you would have been pissed to get brown.
Oh yeah. So the pepperoni pizza, JLP takes a bite. I'm just like, how dare you?
I want $20.
Outrageous, mate.
Chrissy would have loved that. Chrissy would have been like, I am literally licking this pizza.
Chrissy would have just sat there like hand fed them like it was grapes, down in Roman time.
All right, yeah. Next is a covered item. $4.20. Caroline the Weed Head. Yeah. Speaking of which, where's mine? So I'll grab it. I'm giving it a beer in a second. $4.20. You get brownies and ice cream. This is the worst thing for me. I have no sweet.
You just get sick. You just get.
Oh yeah, dairy is not your friend.
No way. Milk was a bad choice.
Yes, but I just hate sweets in general. So like I'm just like, oh, this is the worst. So next, chicken parma revealed and a beer, $120.
I can't believe that.
The greatest deal in the history of Australian Survivor, possibly the greatest deal in any version of Survivor food auction, and gives JLP the beer. What the fuck is happening in my world?
Wasn't vodka.
She was looking forward to some vodka. We do hear that. Is this sacrilege?
It's for an Australian, for an Australian season of Australian Survivor. You want to have a beer.
I'm going. That's right, beer. I'm going $500, and I'm borrowing Raymond's 100. I'm going $600 on this. You're like, you can't. I don't care. Talk to accounting. They're busy right now.
They're bankrupt. They're trying to figure out how they're going to get out of this hole.
Yeah, they're looking for investors. They're selling off items. They're selling off our torches in the background.
So yeah, this one hurt because I love. I when I was there, I think 3 chicken parmas, and one of them was the greatest I've ever had in my entire life.
So good. So good.
All right. Whatever is under the box over there is Ferris's for $500 and is a trip to the Survival Dental Clinic. And you would think the smiling assassin would love that because that's his gimmick. He did not.
No.
Outrageous.
That's
a rough one.
While this is happening, Raymond finds an advantage. What they didn't show is he actually ate it, puked it up, and then found it. He was like, this is some really kernely popcorn.
Oh, well.
Where's Eden? Eden knows a lot about popcorn. He would have loved this. All right. So Kirby reveals to everyone that Ferris got the most stitched up. And somewhere Jesse is doing a backflip somewhere saying, no, I am the most stitched up. Ask my brother. He will tell you. Jesse got stitched up by Sam. We heard it.
I'm surprised I never heard about it before. It was Jordy had 2 buttons. It was Jesse got stitched up and I am the Joker. It was the only 2 things he was allowed to say.
Big fan of Jordy here. So, I like Jordy. All right. It's oh no, it was not a extra large kernel. It was the ultimate vote. And if everyone votes for Raymond, then he is the only vote that counts. And we literally hear surprise, idiots. As a follow-up to that. And I'm like, is this all really happening? Like, I went from last week to being really sad from who I considered a strategic mastermind, Dr. Frankenstein, having his own creation kill him, to Raymond. Raymond is my new Lex Luthor.
Yeah, it's the dawn of Raymond. This is what's happening. Like, it's great. He just needed me out of the way, and then he can flourish now with his.
This is insane.
Advantage.
Who had this on their bingo card?
No one.
Production did not. Production. They're like,
production
hey,
was
I guess the ultimate vote thing's a bust. Raymond got it.
Wah.
Just tell him don't even read it. We don't even need it. We don't. we're good. Oh, 1 for safety? Really? All right, 1 for safety, Raymond. Come on back. Raymond's like, I was gonna burn this. We know. Fully aware. I'm trying to make firecrackers. We know. We've seen.
It tastes like purple.
It does taste like purple. So it's good for 3 tribal councils. Ooh, I wonder if that's important. All right, so he tells Ferris, and I'm just like, all right, well, step 1 of this is probably not tell anyone, but we'll get there. Kirby has decided she wants to work with Ferris, but Eileen is the wedge. Ooh, those wedges get in the way, Eden.
That's right, mate. Watch out for the wedges.
Watch out. So Kirby and Ferris want a split vote on Mark and Caroline. I'm like, I don't love this. And Kirby is ready to make a move. Jaden flipped because he was told last minute about the vote. Damn you, Eden.
There go my face.
I feel that there was more conversations than the last second, but that's okay. Yeah. Kirby tells Jaden the Eileen plan, and he loves blindsides. I'm just like, he does love blindsides. I feel if you had pitched him a little more on the Raymond thing being more of a blindside, I feel he would have been a little more like it's like a cat like you know like you can pour food for your cat and they're like but like if you open up the can they're like the can. This is the good stuff. I feel your Raymond pitch was I feel you did the dry food pitch.
Yeah, the dry food. I need that delicious wet food in there to get everyone's tongues wagging. But he voted for us the first round. He voted with us.
Oh, well, so, and then you're just like, there was no can. Eden's the can.
Yeah, he tried the food. Then he was like, nah, not for me. Yeah.
No, I want the canned stuff. That's the good stuff. Kirby told...
It's the spam. Yeah.
Yes, he did. He would have loved the spam, but Mock's like, no. I know how you big Samoans love spam. I'm taking this. Here's the pine. Here's the bigger can that I know is not spam that you will not like as much. That's the dirtiest move in the game, by the way.
That's the dirtiest move. That is.
The spam burglar.
The spam burglar strikes again. Every season we need a spam burglar.
I wish. So Kirby tells Kitty the plan. Kitty is frightened of Kirby. I get it. I don't know. I think physically, I'd pay to see it.
Yeah.
What? It's 11:34. It's
different show. It's 3:30 in the afternoon for me.
Even Kitty tells the Titans, and Caroline says, absolutely not. I'm like, we'll see if that changes. All right, time for immunity. Jaden hates the immunity necklace for some reason.
Yeah, don't even start me on it. Don't even start me on it.
I think it goes against the tattoo.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty cool. I would have killed for that necklace. I was hanging.
Especially 3 days prior.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been great. It looks really good on me 3 days prior.
If I could pick a date you would kill for that necklace, it's day 31.
31. That's right.
So you have to stack blocks on a wobbly frame while holding a rope. This is the most difficult version of this challenge because the person that makes the challenges on Australian Survivor actually earns his money and makes new challenges. This will be a recurring theme. Don't worry, folks. Oh, what? You don't like that we just recycle the same challenges and people have 3D printers here in America and they make them and then we just hear about them brag about the fact that they made them and already know it, but we still just continue to use the same puzzle?
Johnny, we've already talked about the show's budget. All right. Like it's we need to reuse this stuff.
Yeah, we have to reuse I mean, the fact that Vexel Puzzle can make a new puzzle every week. but
that's a way.
$18 million budget cannot.
That's a way to get the auction back. You just recycle the food every year.
Oh,
and
sweet!
So hey, remember that pizza we had from last year? Bring it back out. Yeah,
we 3D printed the pizza.
Yeah.
We're gonna Christian or who's the kid I hate now? Carson 3D printing the food for us. We're all good. And he's selling pillows.
I remember that.
Wow, Eden loves the pillows as much as I do. Shots fired. International, let's go.
But
I'm on your team, Eden.
Yeah. No, we're going to a cross-country alliance there, John. Don't worry about it, mate. It's happening. It's happening. That close. I didn't realize how close that was. I didn't realize how close Eileen's foot was to winning that challenge. It was right there. Right.
Okay. In the you're a well, we have Dan Montchal, Survivor expert. I'm not. My hands are down.
Surprise.
And Eden, you too are a Survivor expert. I just play the game and forget a lot more than I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the past, wasn't the rule both feet had to be across the all the way across the mat in the past?
Yes, you have to. There's like a line or a mat, and you've got to get both feet on the other side of it.
On the other side of it, and I felt like that's what Eileen was preparing for.
Yeah,
and we hear it's. As long as both feet are barely touching the mat, you're good. And I'm look, if that's the rule, that's the rule. Because I don't think they came up with the rule in the last second.
No. Everyone knew that was the rule, but it's interesting. It's just different. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, as I said, I don't think it's a new rule, but I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, I like this rule better because like mentally, it's just so much more getting on that mat versus barely touching that mat mentally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that is a much smaller hurdle to cross.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, doing like all these challenges, watching the show now and just seeing what I missed out on challenge-wise, I'm like, the FOMO is real. Like, I'm watching this going like, I wanted to do the block balancing one. Because a lot of these challenges, I was doing okay, like coming top 4 and things like that. But they weren't my bag. Like this sort of stuff.
Like you're literally showing up and it's just like, how strong are you? And Jaden goes, I'm really strong. And Ian's like, fuck me.
Like that one with the
hey, don't worry, Ian, I hate the necklace.
Yeah. The one with the legs was just a gym exercise. I'm like, this is outrageous. I'm never going to get that. And then I'm seeing some of these ones that come up. I'm like, I'd like any ball balancing, any things like block balancing. I've been practicing a lot of that stuff. So that would have been fun.
I did that on Myrtle Beach, did a charity event and that was our first. Yeah. And we it was 3 tribes and we finished second by like, I was just like, the other tribe's done. Like, I'm like, just relax, guys. They're like, we gotta win. I'm like, no, we don't. Like, the first two get immunity, we're fine. And so we won like 1 second after the others. Like, we could have won that. I'm like, who cares? The other team's going to tribal. We're not.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that is a good challenge. I did
sabotage my own tribe on episode 30.
Shocker.
Yeah.
I hope it went better than when Alex and the Cuddle Club threw their challenge earlier in the season.
Oh no! There was a paint gun involved and bruises.
With yeah.
I'll send the link. It is something to behold. Yeah, they still hate me. I mean, they literally hate my guts. It was pretty amazing. Oh, all right. Eileen's 8th block. She's a box of nerves, very slow. Kitty wins. And tonight, this is wonderful news, Eden. It's our first member of our jury will be tonight.
Oh, yeah, great. Thanks. Couldn't have done that one bloody episode earlier.
All right, I have a question. Would you really want to do, like, consider the timing. You got to be there for your kid's first birthday.
Well, I actually didn't because I didn't make it home. I didn't make it home in time, so I got the worst of both worlds.
Okay,
I didn't. Yeah, exactly. I missed. I was on a plane, so I missed his first birthday. But I would have loved the jury. I already had my final jury speech like all planned out in my head. I was doing a Sue Hawk homage. Like it was going to be great, and just all the stuff at Jury Villa. I was there for it. Just great content. And I was like, oh man, just missed out.
All right. Well, sorry. Too soon. Sorry, I didn't know
that. Oh
well. Mock is Ferris's first pawn off the chessboard. I'm just like, I don't like this. All right. Tell me if I'm wrong here. I'm allowed to have favorites. This isn't. I don't have to give unbiased coverage. I don't care. Like, there's people I like, people I don't like. All right.
Yeah.
I like Mock. I like Caroline. I like Ferris. I like Kirby. I liked you, and I like Raymond.
Great.
That's it.
That's you just listed the majority of the people selling the game.
Yeah. I really like Valeria, but not the game player. Valeria. All right. You top 5 hottest survivors of all time, Valeria.
No, I wouldn't put her up there.
Okay.
I think there's hotter.
Dan?
I mean, I don't have a spreadsheet list, but if she's not there, she's at least in the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm writing down a list of who I think, she's at least making that list. I think she's close to it.
Yeah.
Possibly top 5.
Okay. Fair enough. Eden, was your wife on Survivor? Was your wife Flick?
No comment. All
right, fair enough.
You don't get me into trouble, John.
I'm trying. All right. Let's see. Kitty is trusting Valeria and Kitty to keep Caroline and Mark in line. Ferris thinks the Titans conversation is too intense. Caroline tells Ferris that Mock hasn't given her a name, and I'm just like, okay, you got to give a name.
You got to give a name. You got to do something.
On Traitors season 2 right now. Like Sandra sees Kate just yapping, and she was like, she sure is talking a lot. I'm gonna see what she's saying. So she's like, hey, what are you saying? She's like, oh well, I mean, we all believe Phaedra might be a traitor, but let's go after the second traitor. And she's like, okay, who is it? She's like, well, say a name. And she's like, she ain't say a name because I was the name. So yeah.
So
you've got to have, and that's such a thing is you've got to always. It's not good enough to come up with a plan. You've got to come up with the plan that you're telling. You tell, and people forget that all the time. People forget that, and then you leave the conversation. Guys, we all good? Yeah, this is what's happening. And you leave it, and then instantly you go, oh, hang on, what are we going to tell Ferris? What are we going to tell this person? What are we going to tell? And that's the stuff that takes the brain power. Like, it's wild.
And I messed up in the Myrtle Beach Survivor thing that I did. I like over there. I'm just like, okay, it's gonna be so and so. They're like, what are you gonna tell them? I'm like, I'll just say you. And they're like, And I should have just said, just say me. I don't care.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But oh my God, did they get their panties in a bunch? They're just like, so it's me. I'm just like, no, we're going after them.
Yeah.
So wow. Yeah, people do not like being the decoy name.
No.
They
you don't want to be the decoy name.
All right. Well, Ferris knows she's lying, and Ferris knows Caroline's lying, but he knows Kitty will crack. We all do. And Kitty says, I'm just sticking to the plan.
You got to stick to the plan.
Yes.
Pull one out for Keith now.
Oh, geez. So Ferris is nervous. And he's just like, fuck all this. We're dumping all the votes on Mark. We're going to tribal. Caroline feels vulnerable. Alex thinks Valeria is talking about him. Kirby would like to flush some idols. No one has played an idol correctly this season. In what I consider one of the greatest seasons in the history of any Survivor ever, no one has correctly played an idol yet.
Yeah. You know why? Because I didn't get one. I could not find an idol for the fucking life of me. Right. I should have eaten. I ate the wrong banana. Is what I ate.
Well, did you have it on your bucket list? Because that's usually called for failure.
Exactly.
All right, Eileen.
Yeah, I think. So then who? So now we go to the votes.
Well, Eileen suspects Kirby is up to something, and Eileen's radar is on par with Ferris at Tribal Council.
Mm-hmm.
These are two great, sublime players in the history of Survivor when it comes to Tribal, and that's a big part of it. So no idols are played. Alex, Val, if you voted for me, you'll get my vote. It's 6 votes Eileen, 4 votes. It was the 4
Mark.
votes. Mark.
They all vote Mark.
Yeah, 4 votes Mark. Oh yeah, because he jumped on Mark. Kirby's smiling, the biggest she smiled yet, and Eileen is the first member of our jury. Well played, Kirby. No more wedge. It's a conversation between Ferris and Eileen's vote is open. She says, "Hey," and I'm just like, well, "You're the worst ally ever." Like I would like to think we built the world something over 33 days. All right. These are going to get much faster, folks. Episode 17, it's day 34. Kirby is back in the game, and now she's calling the shots. And Ferris says, that's cool, but now I have no strings attached. He is Ultron.
Good reference. Yeah.
Thank you.
Like
it. I don't know if he was going for the Ultron reference. But...
No, I don't think he did. I don't think we're severely lacking movie quote references after I left.
We are. Yeah. Oh, my God. I needed more vote off things. All right. Alex doesn't love the Kirby Ferris alliance. And so we have a new alliance, but they don't have a name because Eden's not there. And
exactly. No one names any of these alliances. It's outrageous.
What are they thinking? So it's Ferris, Kirby, Rihanna, and Jaden. I'm just like, this is not my least favorite alliance. Or this is not my favorite alliance that we've seen. I love the Invisible Hand. I love the Middle Age Mafia. Not much on the Cuddle Crew. But yeah, Ferris, Kirby, Rihanna, and Jaden, not my favorites here. So Raymond doesn't budge at all, but they need 6. And so Alex has trust issues with Kirby. Ferris wants Valeria out next. And I'm just like, man, just because a girl turns you down, come on. Alex finds a new alliance of Titans. Alex and Ferris have broken up. And wow, are we getting like jilted boyfriend vibes here or what?
You see that at Tribal Council. That's where the jilted comes from.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are reminded Kitty is not the most strategic player, but ready to throw Caroline under the bus. I'm like, where did this come from?
Yeah, Kitty. Like she said that she had an opinion. Like after I went, she was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to start like playing and doing stuff. And it was what would Eden do? Okay, let's try some stuff. Let's pull some things out. And look, good on her for trying and not just floating along. Like
yeah, but still, I mean, like, is your ride or die really? should that really be your first target? I mean, Jaden says yes, but
exactly.
Is that it? She's like, I'm thinking on turning on my number 1. Jane's like, oh yeah, that's what Eden told me.
No, that's way too. That's way too many words for Jaden. He just said, "Yes, I reckon."
And they're like, and they're like, did Eden really say that? He goes, I don't know. I was thinking about the necklace. I hate it. I was like, all right, never mind. That's someone else. All right, it's time for immunity, and it's hang from a rope. Another new challenge because people earn money here. It's amazing. Your budget must be $48 zillion to have a new challenge every season. So weird.
Did you like this one? It was cool.
Yeah. Drop to the next knot. I mean, I feel like maybe there was maybe it was better in theory or concept than practice, because like for them to go down to no hands and then go back to a hand, I'm just like
well, I think the thing when they started looping their feet around, I think that wasn't probably
part of the
that was like, your legs go over and you go down and then you fall off. It's like, no, once you lock your feet in, and it went for an hour. Like that's insane. Like that is insane. Rhea and Alex, like hats off to. But once you get your legs locked in, I thought they were like, okay, what do we?
How do we fix this?
So I think it's one of those ones. Like, it's good to try new things, but I think you can just tweak it a little bit.
No, I love the concept. As I said, I think this is one that, like, because I'm sure Australia has their own version of the Dream Team. That's what we call it in the state. I'm sure they have their own version. I'm sure they're not trying out these challenges with 500,000 tax free on the line.
Yes, exactly. They're not hanging around for an hour. They're doing it for 5 minutes. Yeah. Exactly.
Or I mean, let's say they're doing it for that, but they're just like, all right, we got like this is safe. No one should die. Hopefully. Maybe.
I also think you could change it with the timing a little bit with the tide, so that way the lower that you're hanging, as the tide continues to rise up, like you have to almost do what Kitty was doing to go submerge and come back out.
Yeah, does it become like the last gasp, like the version of the last gasp? Like, that's really interesting. Yeah.
So because we do eventually get to head in water, but then that dissipates quickly. So no, I think this can. I would like to see this come back. I don't know if I want to do it, but I would like to see it. I like to see it come back, and I think it could be tweaked. I think there's something here. So, but as I said, I feel I'm always looking for the workaround. I mean, like literally House of Villains, every challenge is like they had to fly me back out to Los Angeles. They're like, can you explain how the challenge works? And then can you explain your workaround that you found for the challenge? They're like, the network doesn't understand why this is the rules, but you did this. So can you please do both explanations? I'm like, sure. So it's head to head, Alex versus Rihanna. Both have a bulge. It's really weird. It's in my notes. I don't know.
The most important notes to make it to the
Did
screen.
You notice the bulge?
No, I'm not looking for bulges.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying.
I didn't notice it as much last week, but you were on it all over it last week. That now that's all I see. I can't.
That's all you see is the bulge.
Else. Yeah, I can't see anything else.
The new purple shorts next episode. Oh my god. There's a built-in crop on those shorts. And then she changes them. It's weird. Anyway, so Alex finally drops. Rihanna can't walk, and Valeria wants Ferris. I'm like, oh, okay. We'll see if that works. Mark pitches Jaden in case Ferris has an idol. Much better plan. Yeah. And Kitty tells Rihanna, and I'm like, oh no, here we go. And Jaden is upset because he's been doing all the work, and they are writing his name. And Lord Jaden doesn't like being called Lord Jaden when Caroline calls him Lord Jaden. I feel like you created a monster, Eden.
Yeah, I know. Look at that. The power's gone to his head.
This is not the guy we saw in the first 14 episodes.
The chill hanging out. Hey man, I'm just my life is blessed. I'm here to like hang out. It's like now he's getting fired up.
This is also karma, because wasn't in episode 3 where they got all upset because Caroline was controlling the cooking, like all the way back in the beginning of the Titans camp. So it's just karma coming back around.
Yeah, correct.
There we go. Alex tells Ferris he hurt his feelings by having a conversation without him. And I'm just like, oh my God. What? Am I watching Vanderpump Rules right now?
I know. I was watching this going like, oh, get me back out there.
When did this turn into Melrose Place? Oh my God, stop it. Raymond reminds us he has an advantage. Very important. Raymond also pitches Alex as long as it's not Ferris. I'm like, okay, this is weird. Mark thinks that 5 is not enough in a 10-person tribal. Correct.
Brad Culpepper maths checks out in that situation. Yeah.
Yes, we learn in episode 1 that an alliance of 4 can dominate. Can dominate 12 people.
Yeah, exactly.
No problem. No more conversations needed. As Phil Collins would say, no jacket required. Just send us to the final 3 right now. Well, we're gonna have a +1. It's okay.
Everyone's a majority.
JLP will understand. Time for tribal. Eileen's hot. Who knew? Way to go, Eileen. Oh, that's good. I thought she was getting island hot anyway, but no, she's a very beautiful girl.
She is. Love it.
JLP notices that these alliances are fluid, that I stated last week on the podcast. And I'm just like, oh, wow. JLP listening to the podcast. It's really cool. Like how that works out. I also hate the word fluid when describing Survivor alliances. That's just me. Kirby says there's a difference between flexibility and a floater, and she also says that she is a leader. And is it Alex that has a problem with this?
Yeah, it's Alex.
Yeah,
because he goes, "What am I?"
The jilted lover, apparently, based on your 12 confessionals going into this. Mark pitches to Raymond to vote.
Sorry, are you going to skip over, which I thought was the line of the episode where, because Alex to know, well, what's Ferris? And Ferris, he's that flexible. And then Alex goes, Ferris, I think your ass is jealous of how much shit comes out of your mouth.
Tick.
Shots fired.
Big time shots fired.
Yeah. So, I was going to ask you for the quote because I didn't want to write it all out.
Got you.
Okay. Next, Mark pitches to Raymond to vote. Who was it? Vote Jaden, right?
Jaden. It's Jaden. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I put Mark pitches to Raymond to vote Mark, and he did not vote. he did not pitch to. Hey, make sure you vote me, okay?
That's reminiscent of Carter and Jonathan Penner. Gee, I hate to lose Katie, but yeah, when they say it's between you and exactly.
Yes. Raymond tells Alex that the vote is Valeria, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? This is insane. And then JLP asks Raymond, what's the best strategy? And Raymond correctly replies, the right one.
Good response.
Can't knock him.
10 points.
Spoken like a winner. I mean, I did not see this coming in the cast assessment. I really wow. This none of this is on my bingo card.
No, and I think it's really interesting, and I think it comes back to these voting blocks. Everyone's in like twos, and so there is an ability to go, well, as long as you're not getting raised, like as long as you're not getting Ferris, I actually don't care. I actually don't care who the other ones, because me and Ferris can go and work with someone else now. We can jump around. So everything's really open, and it really does. It means flipping is not this huge like game destroying thing at the moment. It's not, oh, you flipped, okay, you're dead to us. It is something like, okay, let's reform next week. Let's reconvene. It's really interesting, and this is one of the things that what happens when you get so many big players near the end game. There is way more going on. And that was one of the things at the start of the season, me and Mark talked about. We said, we want the back half of this season to be strong players and to be big players. So we want people that know the game. And so it makes it really interesting at the end. And that's what we've got. And it's great.
Yeah, the same. I mean, like, going like Rob C created the strategy of jumping from alliance to alliance without consequence, and I implemented that strategy into my game and just turn up the volume a little bit. So but Rob C literally created the strategy, like literally. So shout out to Rob C there. And according to Chrissy,
don't you mean Boston Rob and his podcast network?
According to Chrissy, Boston Rob is one of her favorites because he married Amba and then created an amazing podcast network. So shout out to Boston Rob for his amazing strategy on Survivor Amazon, in which he jumped from alliance to alliance without. So does that mean Boston Rob has played 9 times? 8
a lot. My counter broke.
Yes. Deal or No Deal Island, 100 grand just for showing up. Rumor and innuendo.
Love it.
Love it. All right.
I'll take it.
Yes. Me too. All right. Kirby changes the votes to Alex. Ferris tells Kitty. And then Raymond goes to vote and says, "Oh, I should write something." I'm just like, holy shit. He's literally insane. So, and shown later, he holds the parchment upside down when he does his vote.
I know.
And I'm like, I am so stealing that fucking move. How great and disrespectful is that? And to not acknowledge it.
Yeah. It's great.
Oh, this kid is, I am so fruit of my loins. Which Jonny Fairplay is just who knew? Hair is looking great, like the bad, like the sun's bringing it all together. So Alex plays his idol for Valeria. It's 4 for Jaden, 4 for Alex, 1 for Valeria. Then there's a 5th for Jaden. Boom. Raymond is the biggest physical threat by eliminating the other biggest physical threat left in the game. And
but someone forgot to tell Riri. Someone forgot to tell Riri the plan.
Oh, well, she's adjusting her cup at this point.
That's just what happens when you're in tribal council. If you're calling an audible and you don't get the message to everyone, things can go wrong.
Yeah. So, but you don't want to have a live tribal with everyone walking around and whispering either.
Nah, that's not fun.
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
If they could have swung the vote there and Ferris and Kirby got their way without having to do that live travel just from whispering back and forth, that would have been incredible.
They were close.
So close.
But then it's a 5-5 tie.
Oh, then they go to rocks because that's all we really wanted.
That's what we wanted, mate. It was really although I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Jaden can't flip on himself. Oh, what? But Alex and Jaden, I don't think it
got rid of winner. Hey, who got rid of Eden? That was my friend. He was teaching me how to play Survivor. I want to vote him out.
Yeah.
We'll handle that for you, Jaden.
Oh, good.
Oh, my God. Episode 18. Give me 1 second. I'm refilling my beer. Dan, start with your notes. Raymond likes a bit of chaos.
Maybe he does like a bit of chaos. But Eden, the one thing before we get there, I wanted to ask you as we were kind of going through, how did you manage to bring back the middle-aged Mafia? Because to this point, they seemed like, they're in lockstep moving forward, but there was some real animosity there.
Oh,
so is there more that wasn't shown of how that was able to be brought back together?
There was a lot of conversations that had to take place to get everyone sort of on the same page. And the biggest one was the fear mongering of the other side. Like, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. We don't know what's going on over the other side. Those guys are going to be tight, and there's a fear of them gang up on us. So we've got to make things work. And then the other understanding of, you talk to Mark, and it's just like, look, we can get rid of Caroline whenever we want. Or talking to Caroline Kitty, like, we'll drop Mark and V when we get a chance, but let's consolidate power first and get everyone on the same page. And so once you figure out people's motivations of like, okay, we'll get through this bit and then we'll target the other people, give them that fruit dangling in front of them, then they're more likely to move forward with that.
Are you guys at tribal?
No.
I asked a different question. We didn't start 18.
All right. Raymond likes a bit of chaos. Yes. Ferris happy with the Alex Idol flush and Jaden going home. And he's like, that works for me. And Titans know that Kitty flipped because she can't lie. And no one has ever done anything nice for Valeria ever. And as a result, she's now in love with Alex.
Sure. No one's ever done anything nice for the supermodel. Ever.
Yeah.
Valeria is hanging out with the wrong people. Valeria does not own a Mira, apparently. Valeria, girl, you need better friends. Ooh. All right. Her guy is in an 80s cover band. So there's that. All right. Mark sees that Kitty is desperate. He likes it. Smart. All right. Raymond now lives in a hammock cocoon.
Ready to come out as a beautiful butterfly.
I do have that later in the notes.
Oh, you're doing good.
It's his outfit.
Great mind.
We see it in the conventional. Quite the fashion choice, Raymond. Quite the fashion choice. He is.
You mean his red sweatpants all season?
His Instagram, yes, red sweatpants. Did not. I was a guy stuck in red sweatpants for 48 hours. So who am I to throw stones? I'm hanging out with Eden in 100-degree temperature in Australia, highest recorded temperature day of all time, and I'm in a fleece.
You looked out of place.
Oh my God! All right. Raymond reminds us it's the last chance to use the ultimate vote advantage. I'm like, are we still talking about that? All right, we'll see. Raymond explains that he is stupid enough to use it, and I'm like, yes, sir, you are. He is refusing food, water, and friendship, the most important of the 3 R's. I don't know. It's a reward challenge. Rihanna has new purple shorts with a built-in super cup. All right. Dan, you saw this.
It's all I could see. It's all I could see the entire episode.
Holy moly. Rihanna. All I have in my notes is laces out, Dan. That's all. I don't even know what that means. Eden, is that from a movie?
Yeah, maybe. This might be.
It seems like a sports reference of some kind.
Seriously typing in. Yeah. It seems like, what are these sports movies? Yeah, Any Given Sunday, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. Yeah, it's probably a betting reference. I've been waiting this whole episode for that. See you guys next week.
Good night, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I never noticed it, and then he wouldn't shut up about it last week. In all 3 episodes this week, every episode is like, just look somewhere else, anywhere else.
Yeah,
couldn't do it.
Eden, you caught it. You listen to the podcast, you're like, what? Wow.
Yeah. Hey,
that's something. Really all right, it's a reward. It's a coconut over obstacles, and you slingshot them into other castaways' names. Eden would have hated this.
This is my
That's your jam.
This is my
the long
jam.
Legs, the long arm.
Go into Eden squat mode. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God! All you do is squat. Do you have a squatty potty?
Can you... Get Rupert on the phone.
Oh,
squatty potties for all.
Yeah. Squatty potties for all. So the reward is for a high tea picnic. Once again, do not care of it. This is not what Jonny Fairplay wants on day whatever this is. So it is finger sandwiches, scones, jams. I have in my notes sweet tea. I bet it's not sweet tea. I bet you guys do not have sweet tea in Australia.
No, we do not.
But yes, this is the worst reward other than the brownies and ice cream for Jonny Fairplay.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you like finger sandwiches, scones, and jams?
No, I don't. But I do like a cup of tea. I'm very partial to an afternoon cup of tea. But I do not really care for finger sandwiches or scones. I don't like scones. I've never eaten scones in my life.
You also care for an afternoon beer.
I do.
But apparently no one else on this cast does.
Yeah, apparently JLP's getting lit backstage with all the leftover beer.
I'm kind of shocked. I know Mark enjoys a beer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Although our thing is you don't want to get totally drunk when you're out there in Survivor.
You're not going to get drunk. I mean, you're like, they're not giving you Davy amounts of alcohol from David vs. Goliath. There's an octopus. I love Davey so much. I did judge Steve Harvey, and like we were in total isolation, is in the middle of COVID. There's and I was like, Davey, I'm in Atlanta. You want to come to my room? Like, yes. And we're literally doing the Survivor podcast with him in my room in quarantine.
Yes.
Davey's great. Rihanna changes to blue pants for some reason. Apparently, anyway, Alex wins the reward. No hug from JLP. It's like, that's right. You're no Eden. You got the hug, right?
Yeah. We had a great. Me and JLP. We were like that. It was so good.
Is he a good kisser?
I don't kiss and tell, Joe.
I'm not allowed to ask. I'm not allowed to ask. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I have the show notes here. So just do not ask. I'd imagine he's a good kisser.
Safe to say.
I mean, right?
All caught up in those big arms. Yeah.
I mean, like just the cuttability. Oh my God, he just brings so much to the table.
He does. He's great.
You think Jeff Probst is a good kisser?
Selfish lover, is my guess.
Who's this? Oh God, Alyssa Milano is a selfish lover.
Alyssa Milano reference.
I think she was in either date. I know she was dating, but I think she was engaged to a Survivor, and described her as a selfish lover, and he broke up with her.
Oh,
there you go.
Saucy.
Yep. All right. So Alex brings Val, Ferris, and Kitty, and Ferris claims it's his first food reward. Eden says he's a goddamn liar. Ferris says it doesn't matter because sandwiches and scones aren't going to soften me up. And I was like, well, if you eat enough of them, by definition they will, because you will be a patty. I'm not a carb guy, so you know who is a soft guy? It's Raymond. And Raymond's going to pull out. You know what, Raymond? You should always pull out. Friendly advice. These things write themselves.
It's right there. It's right there.
All right. Caroline is really worried about Raymond, and the tribe will support Raymond and vote him out. I'm just like, wow, you're really not going to try that extra mile to kind of talk him off the ledge here. You're just like, no.
It's like, nope.
Yeah. We will walk you to the cliff.
See ya.
Yes. Raymond and Ferris fill Kirby in on the advantage. And Raymond says Valeria will be his victim. And I'm like, at this moment, I am hoping that Valeria is not the victim. Because couldn't we have done all of this last tribal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
If they still had Kitty, they would have had the number.
Yeah. We'll get there, but all right. It's great TV, but all right. So Rihanna is tempted to take a shot, Valeria is tempted to take a shot at Rihanna or Kirby. She's right. It's time for immunity. It's Gray Bulge, Rihanna on this one. It is a multi-level maze with balls. And it's another new challenge because once again, the Australian Survivor has a budget of $187 quadrillion to make new challenges and not recycle 3D fucking puzzles that every nerd on the planet has made at home. Just saying. You don't have those 3D puzzles. I mean, like I understand but you haven't memorized them all. And
no, I've got some of the puzzles. I've got some Survivor
I have some puzzles.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with having some puzzles. Vexel puzzles, love those guys. That's cool. So, but you were more of trying to learn like the balance stuff and all that, right?
Yeah. Those ones, the block ones, the sandbag throwing, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like that. So learn how to make a fucking fire. How about that? buy a flint and a machete. It's $12 on Amazon, folks. Prime, delivered for free. You'll have it tomorrow. All right. So it's a very shallow track and a weighted ball and a live transition. And Kirby wins individual immunity. And so at this point, it is Raymond saying, everyone vote me out. And it is so much Ferris putting the plan over. He explains over and over again that he is the best supporting actor. And I'm just like, I have loved Ferris for 17 and a half episodes. Is this where Ferris became Geordie? I literally heard best supporting actor, I believe, 15 times in the last 30 minutes of this episode.
He becomes Geordie if he does that for the next 17 episodes as well.
Okay. All right. So there's still hope because I love Ferris. So I did not meet Ferris when I was in Sydney. I did meet his much more attractive identical cousin. So I had no idea you could have an identical cousin, but he was very nice. I liked him a lot. So I'm sitting here and I'm just like, okay, all this Ferris talk about me, I'm just like, it's going to be Ferris, right? Raymond's voting out Ferris.
Yeah, imagine that.
Okay, I don't think that's the move.
No,
I love it TV-wise.
TV-wise,
I hate it personally because I don't want Ferris off my TV. Okay.
Yeah.
But is it the move? Because we're gonna get there. Isn't the move Kirby?
I think the thing is, there's a couple of ways to think. Like, obviously, it becomes a huge move if it's Kirby. If you're the one that takes out Kirby. But I think what also happens there is with Kirby out of the way, it really does then highlight Ferris and Ray as the next two threats. And then there is a possibility that without Kirby there, without them both blocking each other or being a shield for each other, that there is a big high chance that it's like, oh, okay, now all the focus is going to be on Ferris and Raymond now that that's happened. So I don't mind it. Like, I don't mind keeping them both in the game at this point because I feel like there's enough votes left that there's still an opportunity for there to be shields for each other.
Okay, all right. Say you're still in the game. You see, and Raymond does the move. It's Kirby. You're willing to work with Ferris and Raymond at this point, right? Or are you targeting them?
I think at this point, I think Ray becomes someone that you want to work with at this point.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think you talk to Ray. I think you talk to Ray and you say to him, "Hey, that was awesome, but to really own this game, you need to break up with Ferris." And I think that's interesting. Yeah, I think Ray's really come out of his shell. It's great.
But I mean, me personally, I'm willing to work with. I'm like, let's have some fun collectively. And I see Mark could potentially put himself in a situation like that. It's just like, hey, I got Kitty and I got Kitty and Caroline, two of us. Boom, let's run rickshaw over everybody. Yeah,
very, and then. Because Mark's sort of in this very similar position as I probably would still be in.
Yeah, that's why I'm.
It's pretty much exactly the same. And that's what you do. And then you just play them off against each other. And you'd vote off. Yeah. Get rid of Riri is still a massive. Like you've got to think how many she's won. What 2?
Oh, she's my next. Like if once you fire the shot on Kirby, the next one, like the easy one, is Rihanna if she doesn't win immunity.
And you get in everyone's ear, and you're like, she's going to win she's going to go on a run.
Yeah.
You can't beat her. We've got to.
Yeah.
As soon as she
and she like she's all pissed off. You can't work with pissed off.
Yeah. As we know, everyone wants this season's about revenge for single votes. Like she's going to want revenge arc. Yeah.
Yes. So no, I mean, as I said, we'll get to the move, but God, I mean, anyway. So I just haven't. I'm like, I think it's like because I wanted to prove in my note. I'm just like, I think it's Ferris. I think it's Ferris or Kirby. It's Ferris or Kirby. It's Ferris or Kirby. Like I just have that over and over and over. I'm just like everything we're seeing, and then it's advertised as the ultimate betrayal, and I'm just like,
yeah, you like that? Yeah.
No.
Every week it's the biggest blindside ever, or the ultimate betrayal.
Yeah.
Or the showdown.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a big fan of over the top marketing. So, but I'm like, what was the ultimate betrayal in Valeria and Raymond?
The showmance that could have been.
The showmance we all wanted. But by all I mean, I don't even know if Raymond wants it.
Well, he's, to use Eden's words, originally Cats, he's now dateable. So I'm sure it's opened a lot of options for him that he didn't previously have.
That is true. He is finally dated. Thank you, Eden. You have,
That's good.
So Valeria wants to make a move at this point, and Mark is like, yeah, when you have someone who wants to quit, this is not good jury management. And she is like, no, I kill wolves with my bare hands. And he's like, yeah, that's not good jury management either. So, it's okay. Kirby tells Rihanna about the advantage. I was like, this could go south real quick. And Rihanna doesn't trust Raymond enough. And Rihanna's plan is to have Kirby vote for Rihanna and then blame a Titan. And I'm just like, oh, this screws up everything. And so I'm like, I hate this. Mark gives condolences. I'm just like, oh, Mark. God bless him for being a good person. I mean, it's really hilarious that we can laugh at someone for being a good person.
And be nice, yeah, exactly.
And make fun of them. Raymond wants to be a part of the largest post-merge unanimous vote in Survivor history. As a result, it has to be a vote, not the Scotty situation.
No.
So, and I saw so many people, they're like, oh, this is bullshit. He could have done the Scotty thing. And I was like, no. He needs the largest post-merge unanimous vote, in quotation, to count as. So I'm just like, I'm with this play here. I don't have a problem with that. Scripting it as that.
Yeah, that wasn't that's not an issue. And I think the other thing is that Ray's a big fan of the game. Everyone knew that out there. And I think part of that, I think really what plays into it is, hey, I want my torch snuffed by JLP. I want to go through that process.
Yes.
Because I'm a fan of the game. I think that really plays on people's sympathies.
Yeah. And it gets even better. So Raymond appreciates Ferris and Kirby with their supporting actor skills, but this is his move, and I'm just like, yeah, that's right. And it's time for Tribal, and going to Tribal, I guess it's explained like right before then. I think by Ferris, when you vote, yell out what you're voting to give the shout out. I'm losing my mind right here. Raymond, you are
wonderful.
So Tribal begins. Raymond is a fan, and his heart and his head aren't there. Vote him out. And Ferris goes, look, just go say loud things when you vote. Have Raymond walk the wrong way. I'm just like, This is.
Well, you know what's interesting with this tribal as well? So the other idea is that if you get a whiff that it's not going to work, and like the guys have been good, there's been some good reads at Tribal Council, then Ferris has an idol, and Ferris just plays his idol on Ray, and then it negates all the votes, and then Valeria still goes home.
But does it?
Yeah.
Does the ultimate vote supersede the idol?
No, I don't think it does. I think
because there's a lot of words on that paper.
Oh yeah, it was really complicated. But if you got a sense at that tribal that someone's acting really shifty and like, yeah, I think Valeria is not going to do this, and they're going to put votes on someone else.
Well, I think the only worry was Rihanna and Kirby.
Yeah. And so if you get and which I thought was super risky, like Kirby giving her immunity idol to Riri, like that just sends up to me. I'm there going red flags. Like, what is happening? This is meant to be a super easy vote.
Yeah.
Why is people giving like their necklaces to people if this is so like that? To me was
it's so cut and dry. There's no need for that.
There's no need for that. The discussions had all been had. It was like, yep, this is what we're doing. That move alone was like, wow, hang on, guys, something's not right here.
And if I'm Raymond, I'm writing down Kirby.
Yeah. At that point. Yeah.
It's just I'm like you literally almost single-handedly sent me home by doing this bullshit for no fucking reason.
That was so weird. That like to me that like came out, and I was just like, wow, that's you've got to think something's up at that point.
Yes. So, well, they are yelling their votes, and you literally see Raymond hiding laughter and his face palming himself to hide laughter from these idiots giving declarations of love.
Do you think that this vote kind of goes off as planned, as it does, had Scotty not left earlier in the game? Because I don't know if it makes any difference, but it's already on kind of top of mind that one person already left because they weren't mentally in the game and couldn't do it anymore. Had that happened, do you think maybe plans change up and everyone isn't so okay with just piling on Raymond here? Because it's kind of playing like the similar card.
I definitely think it helped. Yeah, I think
it helped.
I definitely think it helped, and it was front of mind with people of like, yeah, this is a hard game, and people do struggle, and this is something that can happen. So I think it really helped. But it's totally screwed anyone in any future version of Survivor
you're
ever asking for this ever again in the history of the show.
You're done. Well, no, U.S. Survivor, it'll still work because we hold hands and sing Kumbaya, and we sacrifice our games to give you the money because that's the way to play. Not sure. I don't. But yeah.
You haven't been on since the budget cuts, Johnny. All right, you just don't understand.
I have not. I would love to go play Australian Survivor because you guys once again have $878 quadrillion dollars.
That's about your rate, isn't it?
Yeah, that works out to 18 million US. So.
Yeah, good.
I may or may not have told Raymond that it was $75 US for me to sign his his Pearl Islands DVD. And there is a picture. I can't share it yet. He's still on the island. All right. You have our pictures, Eden. Send those pictures.
I'll send it. Well, now I can. Exactly.
Now you can. You're off the island. Yes, they're yelling at Kitty. Poor Ferris. He's so sad. Raymond runs to vote, which is he is beyond awkward. Are we all in agreement on this?
He is, but he's a lovely guy. But
I love him. I love him so. I mean, but has there ever been anyone in the history of Survivor this awkward?
It'd be look. Honestly, it's hard. It's hard to think of someone that's. Yeah, he'd be right up there.
I mean, like Brandon Hans is.
I was thinking Brandon, but that's in a different way.
It's in a very different way.
Do we know how many times
may or may not have brought a woman of the evening?
So do we know how many times Raymond interviewed for Survivor? Because that seems like the story that Eden has, that like he just kept going year after year, because Raymond doesn't seem like the guy that you pick like first go around. Like he's it.
I think so. I think Raymond was a PA that just stumbled upon the set. there was only 11 rebels on the boat, and he's waving, and they're like, let him play.
He was hiding in the boat from the start and just woke up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the pirates trying to steal the Elimination Chamber set. That's a deep cut.
It's great. I love it.
Dan, did you hear? So they had the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in Perth. The Walkway to Dreams. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Anyway, they were attempting to bring the Elimination Chamber by way of boat to Perth, and pirates were trying to steal it.
I did not know that.
Yes. They were going to go through the Suez Canal, and on the other side of Africa, there was pirates that were ready to steal the Elimination Chamber.
I would have loved to have seen a makeshift Elimination Chamber created by Raymond.
Yeah, just like Jaden builds a gym. Yeah, Jaden builds a gym.
How many crayons you have? Put them all together. Thing. So Raymond runs, and then he explains, "You're all about to really hate me." Mm-hmm. And Ferris is laughing. The advantage is active, and I'm just like, okay, there we go. And it's Valeria, and Valeria explains it's good to be voted out by the minority, and GLP says Raymond has spoken, and Raymond is now scared of himself, and I have my notes that I'm scared Ferris is going to mention Best Supporting Actor 12 more times. And Valeria says she needs vodka shots, shower, and a dessert. Send pics or it didn't happen. And who writes these notes? And next week is the Dirty Harry challenge. And hence I'm wearing my shirt a week early.
Yes.
So I mean, as I said, I felt Valeria was I mean, we literally could have done the same thing last week without Raymond, like having his. But here's the thing: Raymond does the flip with no real
consequence
because he lived in a cocoon for 3 days.
Yeah. Everything just worked out really well because
everyone loves Raymond. They should make a TV show.
Yeah. In any other season, you do something like that, and people get pissed. Yeah, and they go, "You flipped on us. You've ruined our game." Rah rah. But no, not our season. Not our season. We've reset every week. We've reset who we want to work with this time. It's great.
It's amazing. So, would you call this? And I know there's bias here, but can you objectively take a step back? Would you call this Would you call this the greatest season in the history of Survivor on any continent?
Oh, I think we're gonna have to see how. I think we need to see the full season.
That's where I'm at. I have it in the. I mean, I will say this, and cover your face because I want no reaction from you. A kitty win. This is not a number. This is not the greatest season in the history of Australian Survivor.
Yeah, and that's what we've got to see. We've got to see how it pans out because the winner can make or break us. Like I think Heroes and Villains last season was very fun and enjoyable and stuff like that. But would it have been better with a George win at the end of the day? Like,
I'd take a Jerry win.
A Jerry, yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think
this isn't me loving Jerry and knowing Jerry. I think a Jerry win would have been a little more palatable as a viewer.
Yeah.
You know, the old Kaja does it.
Yeah,
I think the good thing about the season is it needs that great winner, but there are so many options available. Like you have a Ferris, you have a Kirby, you have a Mark. So it isn't like coming down into here.
I'm not mad with the Caroline win.
Yeah, but Caroline either. But it has options where in some of the other seasons past, it's like it's been so like last season you brought up, it was so dominated by George that if George doesn't win, it's almost a little bit of a letdown. But we have these options here that it isn't like, well, if Ferris wins, doesn't win, it falls off. It's
no, exactly right. But I think it's a really strong season. I think the way that we wanted to, I think Australian Survivor really, we've gone through in our seasons, like you can see the evolution. Yeah, exactly. You see the evolution. We've done it so much quicker. What's taken American Survivor like 30 seasons, we had to do it in 4 or 5. We had those mateships and hey man, the meat trays and the bro downs and let's do this. And then we just got past that. Now we're up to shields and keeping around big
Golden God's friends.
Exciting.
Get to
Exactly. But it's just so much more interesting. And that's one of the things like I had thought about going into the game. And that's the sort of season that I wanted. I wanted a fun, like exciting season with big players and that's what I wanted to keep in the game. And look, ultimately that can also be really dangerous because you've got a million people with a million different plans, but it makes it entertaining. It makes it so entertaining.
All right, so I have a question for you because we've seen, like, you know, what I have loved about this season more than anything else. Like, so, you know, on the Rebels tribe, we've had Team Kirby versus Team Ferris, and on the Titans tribe, we've seen Team Caroline versus Team Mark. And we've heard through explanation, hey, don't go for Ferris. Don't go for Kirby. Take out their lieutenants. You know, don't go for Mark. Don't go for Caroline. Take out their lieutenants, so that we have the bigger players as shields. Because when those players are gone, we're the target.
Yeah,
you know.
Yes.
So, is it that, or is it that, or a combination of we're all making a TV show here. I mean, I'm serious. When I'm out there, I have that producer's cap on in which I'm trying, like, if I get rid of everybody at the beginning, who's going to watch the show at the end?
Yeah.
So
and that's why it was, but then if that theory is true, why am I sitting here? Why am I still out there? Because God, mate, you want to keep me on the show for that.
I feel that once Ferris got to the merge, he was like, the big boys are here. Now I can start firing some shots.
Yeah.
So as I said, he saw you as the most talkative of the Titans. He was like, I'm going after the guy calling the shots.
Well, there's only a few people that really can corral votes, and that's such an important ability in the game. And they're the people that you need to identify and be like, okay, now is Riri really going to be the one going, guys, this is what I think. Like, if you come over here, we do this and you do this. Like Jaden, is he going to be doing it? No, it's the people. It's the Ferris, it's the Kirby, it's the Mark, it's myself. Like we are the ones that are doing that. And so if you keep tabs on those people, they're the ones that are going to have the big impact on the game. And they're the ones that are seen as your threats. But sometimes there's other seasons where you have like the one shield, like the one big player, and everyone else stands behind it. But now we've got situations where there's two big players and they're both protecting each other, and they're both shields for each other. And then there's all the generals.
I feel there was 5 shields on your season.
Yeah, I know.
Which is amazing. So, but do you think it's a case of I need the other shields here for myself, or are you actually in your head thinking, I want to make good TV? At the end of the day, I want this to be remembered as one of the greatest seasons of all time and not the best first half of a season of all time.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. I know that was something when I was out there I wanted to be on. And in my final words to the guys, once I got my torch snuffed, I said to them, guys, keep going, make this the best season ever. I want to be part of the best season ever. Like, keep making moves, keep doing great things. Like, this travel tonight was awesome. Like, this is what I was trying to reiterate with the team, like, let's go all out and let's have a really fun season. Yeah, so there is a bit of that. I would agree.
A lot of people don't watching House of Villains. They're just like, like, what were you trying? I'm just like, I wanted to go to the end with Johnny Bananas and Omarosa. I wanted the three greatest players in the history of reality television to be at the end.
So honestly, me and Mark, the actual dream that me and Mark talked about was me and Mark go to the end together. We both go there separate ways. So I come through with my group, he comes through with his group, and we battle it out. We get to the end, and we have one of the best final tribal councils of all time, me versus Mark. Both of us feeling that we can beat the other one, and that's why we would take each other. And that to us, we were like, that would be an awesome final tribal council, me versus Mark at the end of the day. And we felt like I felt like I had the edge because I could go back to cutting out V under him, and there's a few things that I thought, but Mark was very confident that he could like beat people in the final tribal council, and that you pay off that sort of ego as well. And so I was like, that's the perfect situation. You're taking someone that wants to take you, so you're both on even footing, and that was the dream, and that would have been great TV. Like at that point, we didn't want to. I didn't want any goats. I did a great confessional about taking all the goats to the slaughterhouse and let's just get these big players at the end of the day, and that'll be more fun. And that'll be a great tribal council. Final tribal council, I wanted it to be massive.
But not fair for you because Mark does have diplomatic immunity.
Diplomatic immunity.
I asked, I'm like, did you ever use that? He goes, a few too many times.
Yeah.
Like, really? Oh yeah. I don't know if any of them. I don't know if any of them make the air, but he was just like, yeah, I used that one.
Look, it was no Joker references, but it was up there.
Yeah. It wasn't. He was trying. Wow. All right. Well, maybe week. I don't know. We're in week 57 of Australian Survivor. How many weeks are there in a year?
Yeah.
Wow. I remember in 2022 when we began Australian Survivor Titans v Rebels. It was
a couple of young lads. Yeah.
COVID was just ending. It's really a special time in America and Australia. Eden, thank you so much. Where can everybody find you?
You can check me out at Eden Porter 1. You can follow me.
Who is Eden Porter without the one on social media?
Yeah, exactly. Let's go get him. Let's go. Although I got it on Twitter. I've got Eden Porter on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter.
Oh, well,
X.
I'll let Donald Trump know you're there.
Yeah. Yeah, just YouTube. I've got me and my brother do a comedy team called Game Boys Comedy. In Australia, we're doing the Melbourne International Comedy Festival in a couple of weeks in April. So if any Melbourne listeners out there, come and check us out. It's doing a lot of fun stuff. It's been great. This has been so much fun, guys. I've honestly had a ball. Time's flying. And
you also do a podcast.
I do. I have a podcast about cancelled movies. It's called Cancelled Movie Report. Basically, we me and my friend Cambo, we get hold of scripts that were never made in Hollywood that like got through production but never actually got created, and we recreate them as sort of radio plays. We get voiceover artists in there, and we go through the entire stories. And it's the closest thing you can get to listening to these films without them actually being made. So I'm talking about like the original Gladiator 2. I'm talking about the Paul Verhoeven, Arnold Schwarzenegger Crusade movie, which never got made, which is awesome. The original Alien 3 that's on a monk wooden satellite, like above Earth. Like there's some crazy films. There's unmade James Bonds. The Elf 2 that never got made by Will Ferrell. Like, yeah, we've got some cool scripts. Yeah.
Send me the link for Elf 2. That is my this weekend go to sleep podcast.
I love it. Do it.
For the record, I do not like. I am the worst. I put on podcasts that I'm actually excited about to go to sleep to, and then I find myself at like 4 a.m. I'm just like, yep. I'm loving it, just like I thought I would. So, Dan, where can everybody find you?
Montchal 4.
And where can they find your new Dan Montchal t-shirt?
Fairplayshirts.com. I don't know. Go to JohnnyFairplay.com. It has links to everything there.
Fairplayshirts.com. And if we're doing a little show and tell, I will be in Los Angeles, California this Wednesday, March 27th at Jax's Studio City. That's right. My good friend Jax from Vanderpump Rules and House of Villains, the first person I sent home. I will be at his bar. It is a Survivor 46 viewing party. King George is joining me, but I'm not alone. I have Lauren Ashley Beck, Abby Maria, and Sugar from Survivor. I have Jack Atkins from the Circle. If you watched Jack cry when he went to do makeup on his mannequin head because he was pretending to be a 21-year-old girl and he didn't know anything about makeup. It was quite the thing. Go back and watch it. You have up until March 27th. Go to survivortix.com. That's survivortix.com. Oh, and there's a very special guest I'm not allowed to say on the show. Also, I will be in, who knows? Oh, here we go. I will be in Durham, North Carolina, Wednesday, April 3rd. It's a Survivor 46 viewing party. Once again, King George will be joining me. And we have Jesse Lopez, one of my favorite survivors ever, in Durham, North Carolina at Clouds Brewing. Go to survivortix.com. I believe Nina is going to join us on that one as well.
Hey.
So look for that. And finally, but that's not finally the only one I have a graphic for. That's tickets are available. I have more tickets going up as soon as possible. I promise, folks. We're not done. Boom. Charlotte, North Carolina, Wednesday, May 1st. It's at Protagonist Beer. Dan will be at that one. Dan might be in Durham too. You never know. King George will be joining me on all these. Also, very special guest. They're on the show. Can't say it. So yes, come joining us. I think Jane is going to make it to that one, and Sandra might be at that one as well. But I'm not saying it for sure, so I don't know. But someone's not supposed to be there. So yes, that is Wednesday, May 1st. Go to survivortix.com. That's survivortix.com. The rest of the schedule, I'm just waiting for a little confirmation. April 10th in Chicago. It is literally limited to, I think, 30 people. It's going to be $100 a ticket. That's crazy, right? No, it's me and King George and free wine, free beer, free appetizers, rooftop. Like, it is insane. We are at the sickest private location of all time, and it is only 30 people allowed in this room. It is some friends of mine, apartment. They have a penthouse apartment, and it is, and they have a party. It is nuts. It is literally one of the coolest places I've ever been in my entire life, and I've been to a lot of cool places, folks. I assure you. So this is the most intimate of Survivor deals ever, and you get a King George, Jonny Fairplay, Chicago flag T-shirt. This is nuts. So tickets are going on sale pretty soon. Hopefully, what's today? By next week. So that's April 10th in Chicago. April 17th, I'll be in Cincinnati. April 24th at Three Notch Brewing in Charlottesville, Virginia. And then May 15th, I'm either going to be in Myrtle Beach or Nashville. We're still trying to figure it out. You guys figure it out. Let me know. Tell me where I need to be May 15th. King George is with me on all those. Does my fiance know that King George is with me for 7 weeks? No. Is this insane? Yes. Am I going to have a fiance in 7 weeks? Probably not. I'm doing everything I can to save this relationship. So buy your ticket now, or else, I'm probably going to need lodging in like 4 weeks. So go to survivortix.com. That's right. survivortix.com. People think this is funny. It is not funny. This is my life. So with that, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Eden. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Australian Survivor. I love it so much. It is no secret the love that I have for Australian Survivor in my heart. And thank you, everything, Eden, for what you like. You make me proud to sit here and watch the show I love and play it with the enthusiasm and the strategies and the names and everything. It really means a lot to me. And I love to kid around and all that, but thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys. It's big inspiration, Jonny. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Had an awesome time. Hopefully I'll see you again soon.
Awesome. Until next time, guys.